Hey guys, today I'll be doing a guide on how to get 10 million score on the Infinite Labyrinth Chapter 1. This guide is aimed towards endgame players as there's a lot of necessary equipment required for a top score. So let's begin on the first chapter. The cookies we'll be needing are these teams here. And with Lemon Zest, we're going to be using a full light set with his artifact, aiming for high crit rate and high crit damage. His artifact would probably be best with ninjas since we will be using Rye. However, for future stages, we can swap ninjas out for Rye. Uh, the second cookie, Dark Choco, will be using the feather set with his weapon and his artifact. You can use the dark set, that's perfectly suitable for this as well. I just only have this available. Again, aiming for high crit rate and high crit damage. For Wizard, you just want to run Wizard, it doesn't really matter what he runs. I just use Ninja Artifact. You can use Alchemist Artifact, I just don't want to do the RNG. For the second team, we're going to be using Cherry, Plantain, and Rye. Cherry will be running the full fire set with Lemons as his artifact, which I'll explain later, and her unique. Plantain will be running the full wind set with his artifact, and Rye will be running Rye's artifact with the full wind hidden power set. It doesn't really matter what Rye runs, since you're only going to be using his ultimate, and that will usually kill everything if he's high enough level. And again, for all of these cookies, you do want to aim for max levels and high promos as possible. Most of my cookies are decently high promo. There's a couple like Rockstar, who's not really that high promoed, and yeah. For the third team, we're going to be using Cream Soda with the full water set, again aiming for high crit rate, high crit damage with the artifact. Rockstar, you want to go for max amp buff with Rockstar's artifact. I don't have it, so I have to improvise with this. And Durian is going to be running max attack. You just want max attack on everything to get this attack stat as high as possible. I don't have as many EXP jelly, so I can't get him to level 60 with his artifact. To begin, we'll just start with chapter 1, level 1, and again, like I said before, these strats are doable for everyone. However, to get a really fast time, you may need to be a higher level of endgame required. To begin, we're going to be doing Wizard, casting his ult in the middle, which will encapsulate all the enemies that spawn. We're going to be swapping into DC really quickly and casting his special to kill all the enemies up here. This is why you really want a high crit damage build, so you can just instantly one-shot all the enemies up here to make it fast. And we'll come down to this bottom right section, like this cube right here. I like to stand about here. And cast his ult just here, because the enemies spawn in a left to right motion. The enemy on the left side will run over to the right side, allowing DC to cast his ult instantly, killing all the enemies that spawn here. I have tried to kill both the bottom crossbow guys that spawn, however I find it really difficult, and this is the most consistent way that I found it to work. Then we'll be swapping back to Lemon Zest to kill everyone in the middle, and finishing off either of the guys that you missed that spawn over here. I'll quickly show you what this looks like, though this isn't going to be a perfect run since I am on computer and I do play on mobile, so just bear with me if it is not up to standard. So we'll be casting Wizard's ult, starting with DC, killing everyone immediately. Usually these guys will die in one hit, that's what you want to aim for. We'll cast DC's ult to kill all the enemies over here, and then we swap to Lemon Zest, cast his ult onto the middle guy, killing everyone, and then we just finish off the rest of them with these basic attack. You want to aim for about 10 seconds. My fastest clear is 8 seconds, but 10 seconds is ideally what you want to aim for. This second stage is one of the harder ones out of all three. To begin, we're going to be charging up Cherry's basic attack just so we can get the Lemon Zest artifact to proc the attack percent increase. Then we'll be activating the pillar and casting her ultimate and then special ability once the two side bats on each side run in, because if you cast it too early, she will miss her ability, and you just want to cast it once they stop moving and kill them all instantly. We'll be aiming about here with her ultimate. Just because we want the ultimate to reach the two guys that spawn at the top at the very end. Then we'd be dashing back with Plantain to about here and using his special to kill the enemies that spawn up here and the one down here. This is quite hard to do, so a 4-star Plantain is really required, and I really recommend using a 4-star Plantain. So once we kill those two enemies up here, the next wave will spawn, and we'd come up to about here to cast Plantain's ultimate. It should hit the guy that runs up this way. and if it does work perfectly fine, then we'd swap to Rai, cast his ult about here, killing all the enemies over here, and then dashing over here with Cherry to cast her ability again to kill the 3 bats that spawn here. And yeah, it should be pretty quick if you get it all correctly, but it is, in my opinion, this is the hardest one I've had all 3. So I'll quickly show a demonstration, and again, this isn't going to be perfect because I do play on mobile. Charging her for basic attack, activating the pillar, casting her skill, and then her unique, dashing over here, plantain, killing them all, and then we're going to cast his skill, rise. I was a bit slow there, but you do really want to use his ability, and then you'd swap to Cherry again to kill the last 2 people with her skill. I missed this guy because he was moving around. If you're way quicker than me, this guy won't have a chance to move, and you can kill him instantly. So to the 3rd stage, this one's probably the easiest out of all of them since there's a lot of setups you can do. You want to first start getting the stacks on Rockstar to get the percent attack increase. You'd come over here, you'd cast his ult like right about here, perfectly fine. You don't really need to be too precise with it since it's just you're just killing these guys. Once you cast his ult, we'd swap to Soda and cast her ult on the 2 enemies that spawn here and the enemy that runs up this way. You want to start casting Cream Soda's ult once the enemy touches this step here. So the enemy will spawn here, he'll run up here. Once he touches this step, you cast the ult. He should run here and get hit by the ult. And if you're quick enough, you dash over here from this guy to wave the enemies that spawn over here. I also forgot to mention that Soda does need to be 5-star for this to work, and for the future runs to work. 5-star Soda is almost mandatory for this run to work efficiently. But yeah, you'll cast the ultimate and get the wave to kill the 2 enemies spawn here. You'd run up here, use the specials and everything you can on this guy that spawns up here. You want to get rid of him instantly. Then we jump down, swap to Durian, and ultimate about here. Using his ultimate will kill everyone in this area, and once all the guys run down here, it will finish them all off. So I'll show you what that looks like now. So we come over here with Rockstar, we cast his ultimate, we start the wave, swap to Soda, and again we're waiting for that second step to stand on. We'd kill him, wave these 2 people over here, and then just kill that guy, and then ultimate everyone once they run down. You can cast the ultimate a little bit earlier and a little bit more precise to kill everyone. That was just me trying to rush it there. But ideally, you want Durian to one-shot every single person in this stage. Ideally, you want to aim for about 2.75 million, 2.74 would be my best bet. And again, if you can get way higher than that, it'd be better for you, but 2.75 million is a good spot to aim for. This second team, we're just going to be swapping out Rai for Crushed Pepper because of his 4-star ability, boosting fire damage increase, and if you have him 5-star, even better because of the damage increase for 1% of max HP. The builds are going to stay the same. We're just going to swap Lemon Zest's artifact to Rai's artifact. Just because we won't be needing his ninja's artifact skill. Wizard will be staying the same. Dark Choker will be staying the same. Cherry will be staying the same. Plantain will be staying the same. Crushed Pepper, he wants max HP on everything. Max HP. Shield also is helpful, but max HP is better if you have him 5-star and max HP. His artifact's also the best. His artifact's also the best for this. Cream Soda will stay the same, Rockstar will stay the same, and Durian will stay the same. So we'll get right into it. This first stage is quite easy, I reckon, since it just goes by very, very quickly. To begin, we'll cast Wizard's ult in the center to encapsulate everyone. Like that, and then we'd be casting DC's charge up attack. Sorry, that's DC's charge up attack about here to hit the sheriff that spawns here, and then we'd wait for the enemies that spawn up here to run down. We'd use his special to kill them all. Hopefully, with high crit damage and high crit percent, you'd kill them all instantly. Then you can dash to the middle over here. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to dash though if you don't want to. cast his ult immediately once you get about here. All the enemies will spawn here and should die instantly if you get a perfect timing. Then we'd swap back to Lemon Zest and cast his ult again about here, trying to aim for this top guy. I mean the cactus, and the two guys will spawn on the bottom. Then we'd come up to the top and use his ability to kill. Sorry, not ability, use his basic attacks to kill the guy that spawns up here. I have tried casting Lemon Zest ult bang in the middle, but I do seem to miss the 3 people that spawn around here, so I just aim for the 2 down here and then finish the top guy off up here. But the run will look something like this. So we cast Wizard's ultimate here. We'd get DC's charge up, and then special ability, ultimate. That perfect, and then we just finish everyone off. This isn't like my perfect clear because I didn't get much crits. Yeah, but you want to aim for about, again, a 12-second kill. I think the best I've gotten is about 10, but that's not too hard. This one, I think, is probably the hardest stage you're going to find out of everything across the entire thing to get a really, really quick kill, but it's not too hard if you just want to go for a mediocre kill. So to begin, we're going to be casting Crushed Pepper's ultimate for the shield and the attack percent increase for Cherry. And then I like to cast Cherry's ultimate about here. I know some other people like to cast it in the middle just for the enemies that spawn later down here, but I like to cast about here to hit this guy and the guys that spawn up here. Then we'd be swapping to Plantain to kill this enemy that spawns up here, and casting his ult on the middle guys to bring everyone in. We then swap back to Crush Pepper to one-shot them all, and then back to Cherry to use her skills. So it will look a little bit something like this. So we just want to get Cherry's Crush Pepper's shield up. We want to start the wave, cast ult, and then her ability. We'll be using Plantains, and then his ultimate here to bring everyone in. And we'd be going to Crush Peppers to kill everyone really quickly. We'll be swapping back to Cherry, super easy killer, and then just charge up attacks and finishing off everyone really quickly. This was pretty, really slow for me since I just kind of messed up my timings a little bit, but ideally you do want to kill everyone in like one hit, so it may take a couple tries to get perfect, but yeah, that's how I deal with it, but there's probably better strats out there. This stage I find a little bit difficult, so we begin again by charging up Rockstar's basic attacks over here. We get the 5 stack over here, and then we cast his ult. I like to cast about here just so you can aim, have the sodas wave everyone here and kill them all instantly, because if you're quick enough the enemies should run up instantly. Yeah, once he casts his ult we do that, and you'd wave all these enemies, and the 3 enemies that spawn over here on the second wave, if you don't kill them with the wave from here, you just come and special them. I like to get my specials and kill them all, and I'd like to have my wave ideally for the people that spawn over here. I'd come down here, wave the blowy guy and the flower that spawns over here, then I'd come into the middle and use Durian to finish everyone off. So it should ideally look a little bit like this, but again it's not going to be perfect. Okay, yeah, so I didn't get crits there. So I'll just build up the 5 stacks again for Rockstar and cast his ult here. Yeah, so you see how the wave manages to hit every single one of these guys over here. That's ideally what you want to aim for. Then we'd come down here and cast Soda's wave over here. Then we'd use Durian. And ideally, if your Durian is strong enough, he should be able to one-shot every one of these, but if he can't, then just finish him off with basic attacks. And that's how the waves should look like. And for this stage, you want to aim for about 3.2 mil. I know mine's a little bit lower because I haven't optimized the 2 perfectly, but 3.2 mil is a really good start. 3.1 mil, perfectly fine as well, about 3. But Anything above 3.1 mil is what you want to be aiming for that second stage. This third stage is definitely the hardest out of all of them in total, especially if you don't have max cookies, good equipment, good hidden powers, and stuff like that on your cookies. For this first team, we're going to be swapping out Lemon Zest for Alchemist. For the second team, we're going to be keeping it the same. And for the third team, we're going to be keeping it the same here. So I'll go through the equipment because the equipment does change a little bit. For Alchemist, she just wants to run pretty much whatever you have. It doesn't really matter too much. I like to use the Pirate set on Rockstar, so I'm going to be changing that out for Rockstar's equipment. I know Alchemist would be better off with crit damage, but just for purposes, I'm not going to be doing too much of that. I just want to get an equipment on her. Where's Rockstar? There he is. So yeah, ideally you just want to run like max crit damage, max crit rate. It doesn't really matter about the hidden power, but again you do want Fall Dark that'll help the best. I like to run the Alchemist artifact for it since her ultimate will be used. For Wizard, same setup. You do want Wizard's artifact, and again I don't have that, but Wizard's artifact is the best for this. So if you don't have it, you can substitute Ninja in. DC will stay the same, Cherry will stay the same, Plantain will stay the same, Crush will stay the same. Soda will stay the same. Rockstar, he wants the full pirate set, and I'll show why in a minute. And then Durian will stay, again, full attack. I will not be showing a run of what it would look like on my end. I do have pre-recorded videos from my friends. Their Discord will be in the description as they help me out a lot with most of these runs. However, most of these strats I have shown are my strats, and some strats I have shown have been from friends as well. But this third stage is mainly from my friend, who I'll be linking in the Discord, in the description. But to begin, we want to cast Alchemist's ult first in the middle, so about here again. Then we want to cast Wizard's skill in the similar position, maybe a little bit lower. I like to aim for about here, and then his ultimate immediately after in the middle again to encapsulate all the enemies that spawn. Then we dash down, trying to avoid being hooked by the guy down here, so you have to be really quick to not get hooked. You can dash at an angle. I like to, on mobile it's a little bit easier, but you can dash an angle to avoid it because he'd usually miss. But yeah, you want to avoid being hooked for the quickest time. We just swap to DC, cast his charge up attack in the bottom, and then use his ultimate use his skill to kill the enemies, hopefully in one hit if you have high crit damage and high crit percent. We then come up here to about this square here, just below the spawn of this guy. Again, try not to get hooked, it does lose a lot of time if you get hooked. We cast his ultimate about here. Yeah, we cast his ultimate about here, everyone will die, and then the big guy will spawn in the middle. We want to swap back to Wizard, cast his skill, swap back to Alchemist, cast her skill, and then we go to DC again and just use basic charge up attacks. You should be able to get, you should ideally be able to kill these guys in 4 charge up attacks and a special attack. However, if you do need to use the bar, that is okay. You do lose a lot of time if you do that though. Ideally for this stage you want to aim for about 26 seconds I believe. I think the fastest I've had was 30. But yeah, 26 seconds is the best for this. And I'll be showing a clip of what that looks like now. For this second part is a little bit challenging, but with the strats it does make it a lot easier. So to begin, we're going to be casting Crush Pepper and using his ultimate just to get the shield up, doesn't really matter too much. Then we'll be swapping to Cherry and casting her charge up attack just to get the attack percent increase from Lemon Zest's artifact. And then we'll be going to cast Cherry's ultimate. We want to aim for about here, so on the higher end of this platform. Not too high, just so we can still hit the enemies down here, but about here, just so that the ultimate does hit the 2 enemies that spawn up here for the quickest kill. Then we'll be swapping to Plantain to cast his special and then ultimate. We want to aim for the ultimate again about here, so if we can hit these guys, it's perfect. If we can't, it doesn't really change anything, because we do have Cherry's ultimate hitting these guys over here. And then we swap back to Crush Pepper to use his skills to finish off all the enemies again, using Plantain's special again. And then once the enemies all die up there, the enemies will spawn back here, we dash back down, then we use Cherry's ultimate, Cherry's skills, and then just everything we have to finish off the last 2 guys, and I'll be showing a clip of what that looks like now. Alright, so since we cleared that second stage, the third stage, this one does take probably the longest if you don't have the best equipment, but it's not too hard to complete. So we'll start off with Rockstar and use his 5 charge up to get the attack percent increase again. We'll be casting his ult pretty much anywhere in this area. You don't have to be way too precise, just anywhere up here. Swapping to Soda and using her ultimate on the guy that spawns here, and hopefully waving all the enemies that run. So there'll be 3 enemies that spawn there, there, and there. We'd be using our ultimate on this guy, and then waving the enemies that spawn here. The enemies should die instantly if you do have good equipment from the wave, but if they don't, I'd recommend waiting a couple seconds for the enemies to run up so you can hit them with the ult. Once they get hit up there, the guy will teleport, and if you do have a good Rockstar artifact, you should be able to one-shot him with the wave and the ultimate, but because I don't have the Rockstar artifact, he does teleport and he does move around. We just finish him off with the rest of the special attacks. Then the bigger guy will spawn in. We'd come over with Rockstar, cast his special to get the defense down set, then go back to Cream Soda to use her rest of her specials, cast the wave, then we'd swap to Durian, use his ultimate, and then we'd do 3 basic attacks just so we can get the charge up, or like the debuff on the enemy using his 2 bombs, and then swapping back to Cream Soda to finish the rest of the wave off, and it will look a little bit something like the clip I'm about to show. So once you finish clearing chapter 3, you want to aim for about 4.1, 4 mil might work, but 4.1 is probably the best for a top end score. And if you can get anything above 4.3, that'd be really good. But yeah, that would be the complete guide on how to get the 10 million score for the Chapter 1 Labyrinth. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll be uploading a guide for Chapter 2 as well, for the strategies for both free to play and whales. Yeah, so stay tuned for that.